Today is going to be kind of a fun video. Obviously, as everyone knows, I've been streaming for, I'd say, a couple months now, and I've played a lot of interesting games, but I want to take a chance to talk about this one, Deadzone Rogue. So Deadzone Rogue is a roguelite first-person shooter, and you know what? I've been having a good time with it. So far, I have about 16 hours played with Deadzone Rogue. I've played it on a couple of streams that you guys have seen at this point, and I just wanted to give you all my thoughts on the game so far. This is an early access title. It's not complete yet, but for a game that's only 10 gigs, I'll take it over, you know...
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
The game itself is pretty easy to pick up, and it's actually very immersive. You start and your character wakes up and they have almost like a sort of amnesia effect where they wake up and they're like, oh boy, here we go again. Says hi to his little plant buddy and you're on your way. You choose your difficulty and co-op mode from these little terminals and then the game starts. You start off cloaked in every room you enter, so it's sort of cool because you get to kind of choose your plan of attack going forward. This is nice, honestly. It kind of adds a little bit of strategy to combat. There's some barrels, whether they explode, whether they light people on fire, whether they electrocute robots. They're scattered all around certain sections of the map, and you can actually move them and kind of set up little like choke point checkpoints. It honestly reminds me of the scene in John Wick 2, specifically the catacomb shootout, where he lays his guns everywhere for his inevitable return back through the catacombs. As you progress through the levels, you get stronger equipment, you choose power-ups, you choose perks, just like any other roguelite. If I had to compare it to any other game, I'd say it's kind of like Doom had a kid with Risk of Rain. Yeah, remember Risk of Rain? Building your preferred or perfect build is kind of satisfying, and wiping out a room full of enemies with an OP build can feel pretty fun. I will say, out of all the perks there's fire, lightning, let's see, I think there's like freeze, like ice, and explosive, and there's this thing called void. Void is not my favorite. I think freeze was my favorite playstyle because you could shoot an enemy and they have a chance of freezing them in place, which is good for some of the tougher enemies. The game looks pretty good. There's a lot of things going on screen. Again, it's very chaotic. There's a lot of jumping around, and the game honestly does look very good for only being a 10 gigabyte game. It runs well on my PC. It had no crashes or any stutters of any kind. The sound design is pretty satisfying. The guns sound chunky. The high rate of fire, like submachine guns, sound really fun. And the creature design itself, the different robots you encounter in the game, pretty fun. Like, you got these kind of neat, very militaristic, chappy looking robots, and then you kind of have some of the ones that can get unsettling. Sometimes it's downright grotesque. And I can tell the team behind the game, they're having a lot of fun with the character design. The stock death sound effect is pretty funny, and it doesn't throw me off, but it is kind of funny because I've heard it in a lot of like those like mobile gaming ads when somebody dies. The voice actor they chose for the main hero is like a calm, friendly version of Duke Nukem.
Protect the base while I'm out playing. The world's depending on you. Or something like that.
Again, this is like the Duke Nukem that's like your chill uncle that you enjoy hanging out with. He's pretty funny, seems like a dope guy. I'd like to hang out with him. He seems like a sensible hero for this journey, and speaking of journey, the story so far leaves you with a lot of questions and it's pretty interesting. Obviously, since this is an early access game, it isn't complete, but the mystery kind of grows, and it almost kind of feels like a fun little setup. At the end, when you get to the very end of the game and you beat the boss, there is kind of a fun little Netflix-style cliffhanger for like the next update for like the next update, or when the game finally is full, like a fully released game. The storytelling itself, the environmental storytelling is really good. The character will walk around and say different quotes every time you replay the game. He'll say, oh, here we go again. Oh, not this room again. Again, he'll say hi to his little plant buddy in the beginning of the game. He'll keep it interesting. He'll try to say something different every time.
Just gonna walk quietly past the bodies. Again, don't think about it.
As I said before, despite this being a slick action-packed shooter, it dips its toes into being a little bit horror. It's a bit unsettling. Doesn't do anything as drastic as Halo did when you did 343 Guilty Spark for the first time. I don't think anybody will forget that. But the little bits of storytelling from the environment, from the bodies on the ground, your character saying something, whether it's something that's on the TV screens, there's a lot going on, and it's a nice little mystery we got going on here. Overall, the game is pretty fun, it's pretty interesting, and yes, it's free, and it doesn't take up all that space in your hard drive. It's not the size of that big fat robot from Robots. I'd say if you're looking for something kind of casual, you just want to throw it in, spend a couple hours, have a good time, this game just works really well, and I have no major complaints about it. Thank you guys for watching. I honestly am going to keep talking about these games I have been playing, just to kind of fill in the content and to work on my editing skills here. But that being said, if you guys want to see more, please make sure to like, subscribe. I update every week. So yeah, I'm willing to grow this. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.
Why am I